Well, hey, welcome everybody. This is the professor. Very, very tired professor. Just got up. It's midnight here in the States. And I'm going to go through and do some trailer reactions, some video reactions, and try to get caught up on this massive growing list that the people demand. This is a tight slap by American professor to a Paki Scholar in U.S. over a UN resolution on Kashmir. Easier said than what? I don't know what I was going to say. I'm too tired. All right, let's take a look at it.
Okay, I want to call on this gentleman right here.
Thank you. My name is Hitisham, and I'm a Fulbright scholar here in the United States. Of course, I haven't read the book, but my observations are based on the presentation made by Christine. Unfortunately, I found some of the, there is a lot to debate about, but I understand I am a participant only. I can make only use of limited time. I found some of the arguments were very selectively used, and only one side of the picture was presented. For example, a couple of examples. You said Kashmir, Pakistan has no legal basis on Kashmir. I don't understand what sort of legal basis should we have. You have mentioned about the UN resolution. You have mentioned that India went to a Security Council, and Security Council said that let the Kashmiris decide. Let us have a plebiscite there. So that's a legal basis. Go and ask the Kashmiris with whom they want to go. My second observation: yes, we had a beautiful lawn back there in our homeland, but it was late 1970s, at the peak of Cold War. Soviet Union just entered Afghanistan, and here was the CIA and the Americans. They went to Pakistan and Afghanistan, and fortunately, incidentally, they found an ally in the form of ISI or whatever, and they jointly created this jihad narrative. Kashmir is not the only thing which is behind those groups which you are calling the jihadis and terrorists. In fact, Kashmir has always been there. The jihadis, the rise of jihadis has been after the Soviet Union entered, and then CIA went there and worked with ISI, and the jihad narrative was brought, groups were made and fought with, and then the Soviets were pushed out. And then US left Pakistan and Afghanistan in the lurch, and Afghanistan fell into the hands of the warlords.
All right, so you need to read my book, because every single thing that you just said is fictional. Let's first begin with the UN Security Council Resolution 48. Sir, have you read it? Have you read?
No.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is go on to the UN Security Council's website and read that fabulous resolution that every Pakistani points to, but which not a single one has read. I also then want you to take the actual version from the UN Security Council, and then I want you to compare that to the claims made by Pakistan's permanent representation to the UN. And you're going to understand your confusion, sir. So the resolution is actually very clear. There are 3 steps. They were sequential and they were conditional. The very first step was that Pakistan was supposed to demilitarize to the satisfaction of this UN body that was to be established.
Oops.
Then, conditional upon the UN being so satisfied with this demilitarization, India was also supposed to demilitarize with a presence being permitted to defend itself against Pakistani aggression. The third, having both of those 2 steps taken place to the satisfaction in sequence to this preferences of the UN, then the plebiscite would be held. So all those Pakistanis that are so upset about the plebiscite that never happened, they have their own government to blame, because Pakistan never fulfilled the first necessary but insufficient condition. So I'm going to encourage you to actually read that before you ever make such a fool of yourself again by presenting it in public, right? So just do yourself a favor by reading the darn thing. Second, I want you to also learn a little bit about your country's Afghanistan policy. Sir, do you know that it was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto that began the ISI cell in Afghanistan? That in fact it was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto who began setting up what became the 7 donkeys before the Soviet Union moved across the Amu Darya. Did you know this, sir? No. I want you to answer my question. Did you know this, sir?
No.
Okay, so this idea that somehow the United States used Pakistan in some sort of some sort of effort to dispel the Soviets is completely an incorrect reading of your own history. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, after King Zahir Shah was ousted, And Dowd came to power and began implementing pro-Soviet policies, driving the Islamists into Iran and Pakistan respectively. Zulfikar set up an ISI cell so that he could then use those disenchanted, disenfranchised Islamists to become vectors of Pakistan's policy in Afghanistan. Did you know that we first sanctioned Pakistan in April of 1979 because of advances made in its nuclear weapons program? If we were so interested in sucking them into our evil jihad designs, we sure did make that difficult for ourselves, because when the Soviets did finally cross in, we actually had to do a bunch of maneuvering to get a waiver. And did you know that the first monies did not go into Pakistan until 1982 because of that requirement to get a waiver? So before you go and you blame the United States for using and abusing poor Pakistan, you should familiarize yourself with your own history, because in fact Pakistan had been instrumentalizing Islamists long before the Americans even knew what an Islamist was. Now, going to your next point about the Americans just leaving Pakistan high and dry. Well, this comes to, and Steve Cohen is here. I'd like to hear him talk about this. Let's talk about the Pressler Amendment, right? The Pressler Amendment was actually designed so that Pakistan could continue proliferating while we continued arming you, right? Because we'd first sanctioned you in April '79. Everyone understood the name of this game. When we withdrew in
I know this has
1990,
been asked for me to
we
react to
withdrew.
for quite
Pakistan,
a while,
however,
and I'm just getting to it.
continued
Oh
mucking
my,
around with the
scathing.
Islamists. So this idea that the
You know, I'm going
jihad
to say
today
something that's
are
probably
the-
going
are
to
the
offend a
Taliban
lot of
of
people
today
here.
and Al-Qaeda, this is also a really grotesque and
I'm just gonna say
empirical
it,
error
man.
that I don't quite frankly
Is it just
expect from a
me,
Fulbright student. So I'm happy to
or
have
they
more
like the biggest
exchanges with you,
babies?
but I think you should
They
be
cry
careful,
about
because
everything.
I
I
see
see them on
said
YouTube.
is a
Whoa, we're
highly
going to kill
stylized
you,
retaliation
professor.
from
Oh, we're
Pakistani
going to
media.
kill you. We're going to give you copyright strikes. Oh, we're going to ban you from YouTube. Oh, man, I never, there are Hindus that get mad at me, and they don't come out all crazy like, well, sometimes they do. There are Christians that get mad at me, and they don't, well, I guess maybe they do too. Oh, but not like this, man. Oh, it's like a level of whininess, like whininess mixed with ignorance, and I think that's what's so annoying about it. Man, did she just deliver the smackdown, dude? What? She was just all over that thing. Oof. That was really, really good. Sorry for the delay, but that was well worth it, man. That was outstanding. Well done, well done. Well done, well done. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos. I'll catch you guys later.